2, 3, 4.
Welcome to Don't Do That, the podcast where we talk about what not to do at work and beyond.
As equity practitioners, we found ourselves often thinking that folks should stop doing things before they start doing things. Hence the title of our podcast, Don't Do That. I'm Ani. I'm an equity coach, organizational equity strategist, and educator with a deep curiosity for how to improve systems and a commitment to lift others as I continue to learn and grow.
I'm Karen, and I've worked in social justice for over a decade. I'm a consultant, coach, and thought partner. My purpose is to make community matter. I do that by helping leaders create better work environments. Adi and I met as consultants and quickly became friends. Collectively, we have over 25 years of experience navigating equity, inclusion, and justice in the workplace. Don't Do That is a platform to tell stories about making mistakes at work and how to fix them. The views on this podcast are our own. We do not speak on behalf of our organizations or the communities we mention. All right, welcome listeners. Today on Don't Do That, we are discussing banter, shooting the breeze with your coworkers. Now, these quote unquote water cooler moments build company culture and help to boost productivity. Yet the expectations around these social interactions can make some professionals feel left out or excluded. So we'll get into all of that in today's discussion. Welcome, Ani.
Hey, Karen.
I think this will be a fun one for us to get into because I would argue that we built our relationship on banter and water cooler moments.
Yes, and I actually hate water cooler moments, so these are going to be great.
Okay, I think this will be good for our listeners then. We might be coming from two different perspectives. But before we get into it, let's talk a little bit about the landscape and give some context. So in terms of the benefits of water cooler chats, as I was doing my research, here are some of the things that I found. First, these social interactions can make work meaningful and enjoyable. These types of conversations can help to build trust, which also enhances collaboration. Second, these water cooler moments help employees feel plugged into the company and more invested in their work. And thirdly, these chats are helpful breaks for people, and oftentimes people come back feeling more energized, refreshed, and ready to focus on work after having these informal conversations with their coworkers. And these water cooler moments can also help to build conversation skills, which we know is a core skill set as a professional, as people can work to read body language, interpret tone, and practice empathy. So there's some research behind this, and MIT researchers studied that the impact of workplace socializing, and they found that workers felt more connected and were 10% more productive, and that these deeper connections resulted in an increase of shared knowledge, work habits, and social support. So I found that these were really interesting benefits to conversations and things that happen informally in the workplace. But I wanted to see if there was also some information related to identity, and found some information around Gen Z in particular, and how Gen Z actually craves more in-person interaction. A Harris poll survey found that 91% of Gen Z agree that in-person events are some of the best ways to build social and interpersonal skills, and most found that these impersonal interactions were key to building their professional confidence and career development. And we know that Gen Z came of age during the pandemic, and so most folks may have started their work remotely, and so this really has left them with the desire to build those soft skills and enhance their networking skills and just how to navigate, interpersonal interactions. Now, with all that said, in terms of the benefits, I did want to name some watchouts because I think there are some watchouts for people to be mindful of. A few of these watchouts in terms of these water cooler moments are the expectations of how to engage, and the weight that leaders place on, professionals engaging in this way. And particularly if your lived experience is not normalized in the workplace, it can be really difficult for folks to find and build those connections. And I think like some of those nuances include it can be like women in male dominated workplaces or industries, people of color being in predominantly white spaces and white workplaces, people that are neurodivergent may have different ways of interacting that we have to be considerate of. And also, people with certain mental health conditions can experience social anxiety. And I think also when we think about life outside of work, people have various like family structures, relationship structures. And if those are not normalized, it can feel challenging, I think, to talk about and build connection just around like your personal life. So those are some watchouts that I think are important to name. I think there are several others that I didn't name, but wanted to make sure that we at least lift that up in the conversation. So what's your take on water cooler moments, Ani? Are they helpful or harmful?
Well, shared my take, which is I hate but certainly they're very helpful. For sure, they're very helpful. And I think one of the things that you mentioned around trust, I think in many workplaces, trust is often earned or at least constantly being assessed. And the ways in which people feel like they can trust you are typically um, based on how they feel about you.
Mhm.
And sometimes it has to do with your work, and sometimes it doesn't. Um, I noticed a difference when I started talking to people about, when I got engaged and I was wearing a ring, and people would talk to me about wedding and marriage and husband, just the new levels of connection unlocked that
Yeah.
were inaccessible to me. And I was then being perceived as being like more mature or, I could just feel myself being taken more seriously or my free time being taken more seriously. So I know that it is important, but I hate it in the Matrix for sure.
So tell me more about why you hate it.
I think the way my brain is organized is I like solving problems. I find solving workplace problems and coaching people and org strategy and finding creative solutions to those things. I find that to be super interesting. And I love learning other people's professional perspectives on things.
Mhm.
And I generally wish I could spend more time talking about work with colleagues instead of talking about my personal life with colleagues and then venting about work at home. Like, I
Mhm.
wish that lived in the inverse of like, let's keep all the work stuff here and troubleshoot some of the dynamics and, things that we have here. And then I can talk about my wedding plans with my maid of honor, right? Like, that is the way my brain is organized.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's probably something underneath it around like how I build trust, um, which might be different. So
Yeah. That's interesting that you want to keep your water cooler moments to the work itself. It's like,
yeah, there's so much, I think, generative, conversation to be had. Like, oh, so and so left. Like, oh, I wonder what they're going to be doing on that team. But that's fine. I get it. I get why we do it. So I make my way.
so it feels force festive to you.
A little bit,
Yeah.
or that at least some of the questions, not the activity of like getting curious about your colleagues, like that is not forced at all. Like I love doing that. But I think some of the topics that we talk about, I don't like. I can share when we
Yeah.
move forward, I'll share some of my ones that I don't enjoy. How do
Okay.
you feel about water cooler moments?
I mean, I generally feel like it's a part of the workplace and like being a professional. I think it does help build connection. I know for me, it does feel like a bit of a brain break for me. And like that's part of the reason why I really enjoy going to the office because I feel like it allows me to have those moments of just like informal conversations of getting to know my coworkers and peers and like understanding what your interests are outside of what your job role is and are there commonalities between us. And so I do enjoy it. But I think for me as an introvert who often has to like, you know, use a lot of energy, it takes a lot of energy for me to socialize with people. And so while I enjoy those moments for the most part, I usually have to have like some alone or downtime after that because it does pull from me in a different way than being alone as an introvert. So I have to kind of manage it that way. And I think for me too, the challenge can also be like sometimes like what to talk about or how to spark conversation. And like I'm a person who doesn't mind silence as well. So I'm perfectly fine with like sitting with people and if there's like not anything to talk about or I'm not going to be the person that just like says something to say something.
Oh, I mean, in water cooler moments, for sure, I'm definitely that person. I remember I had a job interview and it started with like a breakfast and there
Oh,
were like a series of activities throughout the day, a panel interview, a presentation, blah, blah, but it started with the breakfast with like one of the vice presidents and we were eating. Obviously, it's breakfast, and he told me he preferred to not talk while he ate. So it was about like 30 minutes of quiet, and I was like destroyed on the inside. Just, I mean, it was the worst feeling ever of why did you ask me here for breakfast to just look at me? Like it was horrific. So I hate the silence.
you were dying on the inside.
I truly was dying on the literally, why did you bring me here? Why are
Talk
we having breakfast?
and then talk again.
Interview. Like, what is going on? This is not a date. Like, what is happening? It was very strange. I got the job, but
Kudos to you.
yes, I mean, it was quite indicative of his leadership style as well. So a lot was learned.
Well, look, you did better than you thought you did, clearly.
Yes.
So when was the last time that you like chatted with your coworkers and what did y'all talk about and how did it make you feel?
I always chat with my coworkers. I feel like again, I recognize what's happening. So I think I've built the skill of doing it. The last one I can remember that like comes to mind where it was like a larger group of us kind of chatting. We were talking about like a celebrity event. And I remember thinking, like this was a departure from when I sort of like first started my career and some of the water cooler moments that would happen. Um, when, I guess 15, 20 years ago when I started working, but it was like a fun, just like a celebrity gossip and it was multi-generational and everyone was sort of like chiming in on some pieces of it. And it was just so interesting to me that everyone was aware of it and yeah, had an opinion, had a thought. So
Nice.
yeah.
My last conversation, there are two that comes to mind. One was it was like during lunchtime and one of my coworkers was having a conversation about swimming and like took a poll of like how many people know how to swim and how many people don't. And it was really interesting in terms of like because there were I want to say it was about 50-50 of like us some folks knowing how to swim, some folks not knowing how to swim. And I learned also that from a few of my coworkers that like they learned to swim as adults. And I just found it to be like really interesting in terms of like life experience and how folks grew up and like was that a core part of your, upbringing.
Mhm.
So that was a fun conversation. And then I also remember talking with two of my coworkers who are Gen Z professionals. And for some reason, I thought of the movie House Party.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, yeah, with like Kid and Play. And they were like, who? And I was like, y'all have never seen the movie House Party? They were like, no. And it was like such a moment for me because I'm like, oh my God, I'm that professional. Because I remember those moments in like my younger career where like bosses or supervisors would be like, you don't know who this is or you don't know what that is. And I'm like, no. And now I'm that person.
You are that person. Yes. Welcome. That is so funny.
So I know that also some of the challenges in terms of like water cooler moments can be, what do we talk about? Like, how do you spark conversation? So I wanted to know, do you have any go-to prompts or questions that you use for water cooler conversation?
Yes. So, and this is also me with like a equity mind as well. So typically I start with like my own vulnerabilities in sharing. So I don't start with a question. I like invite people in by sharing. So like, hey Karen, how are you? Like, I don't know about you, but I had a crazy weekend digging out that snow, like that type of thing versus hey Karen, how was your weekend, like, because I'm always mindful of like people's personal or home situations they may or may not feel comfortable sharing at work or with me, or it might reveal other parts of their identity that they're unwilling to share, like maybe they don't have like secure housing, or maybe they're in some sort of transition, or who knows. So I try to start with like sharing stuff about myself, or keeping it to stuff again that is like pretty in the office, like that coffee machine is still broken, like man, I need that machine to work. Or did you see the new like artwork on floor 2? Like, I love that thing. Man, I'm such an art girly. I went to this art museum, da 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 da. So, which I know all of the networking experts say that you should invite other people with questions because people love to talk about themselves and you should always ask questions. But I am mindful of intrusion, so I don't do that.
Oh, I love that. That's a hot take. I love that.
What are your go-to?
I think I generally have like categories of things. So if there's like, for folks in the office in particular, if there's like, excuse me, an event or something that has happened in the city that's like well known, or like a hot new restaurant or place to be, I may ask like, have you tried it? Are you interested? Did you go to this thing? I feel like now I'm not a sports girly, but I know enough to be dangerous. So I could spark up conversation there. And then recently I've been asking folks just like how their end of year was, and, if they did anything enjoyable or made any, good memories. And that tends to be a good conversation.
Yeah. I think generally the weather, favorite warm drinks, things again in the office, keeping it really, really, really high level. I don't ever want to force someone to feel like they have to disclose something. And can I share a question that I don't love? A water cooler question that
Yeah.
I don't love?
Yes.
Questions regarding my outfits.
Oh my God. Tell me more.
I don't love them. And the asterisk is, I don't love them from everyone. There are absolutely some people, if we already have a rapport, a relationship, or we're already vibing, and this is not like a, stranger by the water cooler. I'm happy to have, conversations about fashions. But it's something about starting there that, I don't know. I feel like it's a reduction. And it only happens to women, right?
Mhm.
Like, there are not men at the water cooler saying like, "Oh, I love those loafers. Like, tell me more. Like, cool button up, bro." Like, That's not happening. So yeah, it just feels reductive in some way of like, of all the things we can connect on, it's like, all right, the woman femme presenting person, we're going to talk to her about the clothes. And I love clothes, by the way. It's not a wrong thing, but it is an assumption that I don't love. And again, and I'm the girly who loves talking about work. So it's like double whammy, you know? It's like I already just would prefer to be talking shop. And then it's like, if we're going to be talking stuff that is not shop, it's like, let's talk about, I don't know, cool podcasts or something like that. And like maybe once we know each other, we can talk about fashions. So
I love it. Well, as someone that won most fashionable at their office this year,
yes, I'm
I,
obsessed.
I love talking about fashion.
We know that. We know that about you, Karen.
But one thing I will say, one question I hate is actually about the weather. I hate how long conversations about the weather can like go on. It's like enough already. Like
There's
it's
so many
sunny.
layers to it. So many
It's
layers,
sunny and 75 degrees. Let's move on. You know.
which is atypical for this time of year. You see how it could go? It's just, it's so many layers. It's so easy. I will never not use weather. Sorry.
Really, weather is never my first one.
I love a weather.
It's interesting how we're both opposites.
Yes.
Fashion is my go-to. I
Coffee.
cringe at weather, and you're the opposite. You cringe at fashion, and weather is your go-to.
Yes. And we made
Okay,
it. Getting still. Look at us breaking boundaries.
so moving into our do that and don't do that segment, I wanted to do it a little bit different today, where we're actually going to use it as an opportunity to have a bit of a water cooler moment so that folks can be inspired and get their own ideas. So, for this do that and don't do that, we'll each name some things and you can say if this is something you do or don't do, or you're into or you're not into. Sound good?
Perfect.
All right. So, I'll start us off and then you can go next. So, do that or don't do that. Matcha.
Don't do that. It's just not worth the money for me. It's like, I'm going to get a win. I'm going to get a home run with coffee every time. So why spend the, $14.95 to be chewing my drink? Like, thanks. I'll just stick with the coffee.
Okay.
What about you? Are you a matcha girly?
I am interested in matcha, but I'm interested in like the ceremonial aspect of it all, not like dump 10 pounds of sugar sugar in it, you know?
Yeah.
So yes, I'm into it in that way. I'll give it I've tried it before. It's not my go-to drink.
Not the beverage.
Yeah, because I feel like it's become like, I mean, everything in America becomes commodified at one point or another, but yeah, like the ceremony of it all.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. My do that or don't do that. Are you watching the Super Bowl?
No, not particularly. I
Yeah.
will watch the halftime show because I'm interested to see Bad Bunny perform, but the game is not appealing to me. Um, yeah, I'm not a Super Bowl girly necessarily.
Same. I have no idea who's playing. I don't know what is going on. I can't even confirm the date, which is ironic because it is actually my husband and my anniversary on we like met Super Bowl
Oh
weekend
wow!
in 2017.
Oh wow! Look at that.
But I have no idea. I was there for the social activities then. It's still there for the social activities. Definitely the halftime show and the snacks.
Yes, yes to snacks. Okay, my do that or don't do that is: are you into this focus on high protein diets?
Um, I'm really not sure what I'm into. Can I not be into it? I mean, I don't know.
Sure.
I'm really not sure. I do my best every day. Never. I'm not a diet girly. And people are like, oh, I can do keto, blah, blah, blah. It's just my best every day is the only thing I can commit to. And I try to make healthy choices, whole food, but definitely I'm not adding the protein and drinking bone broth and doing all of those things. It's just unsustainable for me.
Yeah, I agree. This focus on protein is also very bizarre to me. And I think, like, generally, I feel like there are things that people say on the internet and social media that, like, we take as law. And I'm like, why are we doing this? It's like you're eating all this protein with no fiber. Like,
Yes.
no, like, that's not good.
Behind this is the beef lobby or something like that, trying to like the Got Milk campaign. Are we gonna
Yes.
have some expose in 20 years that's like, you fools all eating protein 20 times a day?
Exactly.
I
So
hate
I agree. Whole food diet is my vibe.
Okay. Okay. Do that or don't do that. Are you watching reality TV shows still in 2026?
Oh yes, girl. Do that for sure.
Yes.
It's my
Are there
guilty pleasure.
levels? Like, I ask because I saw that Basketball Wives was sunsetting. And I read this article around how, like, I think this is a new era for reality TV. People are looking for more produced, scripted, da 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 da. So, you still into the reality TV?
I am, yeah. I still love like the Housewives franchise, particularly like Atlanta. I like Potomac. Um and Beverly Hills. I think that's always good TV for me in terms of like a guilty pleasure. On Netflix, I love Love is Blind, especially when
Mm,
they get out of the pods. That's when like the real drama ensues.
yeah.
So I'm always here for that. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's not all that I consume, but it is a part of my TV guide.
I feel like I need to. When everyone was watching, what is it? Love Island. When everyone was watching Love Island, I really felt so like out of it. Like I had nothing to contribute. I had no idea who the characters were, but my heart just wouldn't let me do it. So,
Now I have to say I do love Love Island, and I didn't know my first time watching it, I didn't know how long it is because it's like an episode every day over like 5 or 6 weeks.
oh,
And at some point, for like the UK version, it was the very first time that I watched it. And so girl was on like episode 36 and I'm like, I'm too deep in. Like I have to I have to finish it.
that's like Blacklist. I started that show and I was like, this list is way too long. The first season, I was locked in and I was like, why are we not done? How many people on the list? Like 2,000? This is incredible. Like, I had to quit that. So I'm glad you told me that. 36 episodes is insane.
No,
Like,
it's probably more than that. It's
I don't
probably
I don't know
40 or
that much
50.
about anybody. I don't know that much about myself. 36 episodes worth? No. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's a commitment for sure.
Mm.
Okay, my last do that or don't do that. Hot girl walks. Are you into hot girl walks?
I don't even know what that is. Oh man. What are hot girl walks, Karen?
It's like where the girlies get out and like walk in nature and, you know,
Well, what
take
makes that hot girl? Just
I
because
think
you're
it's just a play on like um pop culture with like Meg the Stallion, and they've dubbed them hot girl walks.
oh, so just walking with your friends is called a hot girl walk.
And you don't have to be with your friends. It can be solo. Just like a form of exercise and movement.
So it's just a walk. See, this is why I'm bad at the water cooler carrying. What makes it hot girl?
Yes,
I
it
just
is.
don't-
It is technically just a walk, but it's
If
more
I
fun.
consider
I think
myself to be a hot girl and I'm walking, then
right. It
okay.
has better marketing as a hot girl walk, I think.
Like, could anybody, like, if my mom is walking, could she be like, hot girl walk? Or like,
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
all right. I'm a maybe. I'm not convinced that we needed the branding, but I love movement, so sure.
Love that.
Okay. Okay, do that or don't do that. Are we sharing deets about our upcoming nuptials with our colleagues?
Oh, within reason. Like I've told people that I have a date and I have a venue, and that's it.
That's it.
That's as far as I or
Or
what I have addressed.
in it.
No, I mean well, granted, this is my first endeavor into wedding planning, so and getting married.
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't know how much I'll
And you're
share. How much did you share?
I don't even remember. I think if I'm being honest, I probably made up some details. Just to build connection for real, for real. My wedding was like so complicated and it was COVID, it was many different days. So I was just talking, connect and make friends. Like, oh yeah, I have a big, beautiful gown and 12 bridesmaids and just making up stuff for real. So
Yeah. I do find that I found that people have given me like advice when they know I'm engaged and planning for a wedding, even without necessarily asking. Some of it has been good, some of it has not.
yes, people love a good advice, girl.
Yeah.
It's always something. So
Yeah.
okay, noted. Don't ask Karen about the wedding.
I mean, you can ask. I will decide how much to share.
Well, that doesn't make for good water cooler talk, Karen. No one wants to sit in silence. We're going to start how we ended. Nobody wants to sit in silence. So pick another question.
Right. Fair enough. Well, I think this has been really fun. Hopefully, folks are inspired for the next time they're with coworkers to, spark up some water cooler moments. So let's wrap up and give our final takeaways. I will start and then we'll pass it to you, Ani. I think for me, my final takeaway is that we should just generally embrace connection with our coworkers, but that can look any way that works for us as individuals, whether that be like small group, one on one, or in the group chat, sending memes and things back to each other. I think there are plenty of ways to build relationships with people. And ultimately, I think that's what helps to get the work done is by building relationships with your coworkers and the folks that you collaborate with on day to day.
I will yes and that to say I'm also thinking about ways that you can both build connection and still have good boundaries, right? I think sometimes we talk about vulnerability in the workplace as though that means like your colleagues should have full entree into your personal life and who you are. And I don't think that that's what that should mean. And for sake of connection or joke or lightheartedness, we should never sort of like railroad someone's personal boundaries or their personal identity or anything like that. So make sure to keep, that top of mind as we are thinking about building connections, which makes it a little bit awkward, but that's okay. It can still be fun and awkward.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you, listeners, for today's conversation. Thank you, Ani, for your water cooler moments with me. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please leave us a review on the podcast, and you can share it with a peer and colleague. And if you'd like to reach Ani and I directly, email us at thedon'tdothatpod@gmail.com. And until next time, remember, don't do that.